Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today, Alex and I are super excited to give you a wonderful dive into the world of January Sun.
It's been a long time since we've done a specific creator highlight, and who better in January than one of our favorites, January Sun?
I will say, I was so excited to do this one, mostly because I do think we've talked about a lot of these stories before.
Yeah.
But it's always kind of hard when you're doing it sporadically for people to piece together that it's all the same creator.
Yeah.
And that is part of what amazes me about this creator is how many stories they're working on, not in general, but at the exact same time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to comprehend how many stories are happening just in a row.
I love the little tidbit that I saw where they said that they started creating their first story. Then they made a second story as like this is just a fun side project to do when I don't want to do my main story. And then that got picked up and was super popular. And then they did the same thing like 3 other times. And now they're on their 4th main story, which I think is going to be my new favorite. Although I don't know.
Hard to say.
They're all my favorite.
Listen, we're about to talk about masterpieces. So you'll have to buckle in because if you have not read any of these stories, you need to read literally all of them.
You need to purchase the physical copy of The Reaper and the Waiting, which will be coming out this year.
In May.
And you also, at the bare minimum, need to go and look up this creator on Webtoon just so you can see how beautiful the art is that we're talking about, because it is some of the most beautiful that we've ever talked about.
It's so true. Okay, so to give a little bit of background about January Sun, which is the display name for the creator, you will also see them on socials as JS Art, JAYESSART. They have made a wide array of stories.
Yes.
And we have been reading these since, I don't know, years now.
Yeah.
But January Sun has been creating comics for an extremely long time. Mm-hmm. So they are based out of Canada, and their first story that they started with was The Reaper and the Waiting.
Yes.
This story, I couldn't go back and find the original release date because now that it's an originals, they took down the Canvas series. Mm-hmm. So I do know that some updates about it were put out in 2022, but just based on the timeline of things, knowing that it was January Sun's first story, it came out somewhere around 2018, 2019. So it was a while ago now.
Yeah. Hard
to think that 2018 was long ago, but...
No, I mean, it feels like a year ago.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
But it was not. This story, though, did become an originals last year in June. So with that, this story follows a Grim Reaper who lives in the beyond and is working to try to help souls pass on to the next life. And in doing so, he does run into a lost soul. And, you know, like any other, he goes up, asks if they are needing anything because it's following him around. And they just go, "No, I'm just waiting." He goes, "Well, what's your name?" He goes, "Waiting." You know, a customary name. So the Reaper just goes through this life walking around, finding lost souls, as Waiting follows behind him.
Yeah.
You, as the reader, find out that Waiting knows this Reaper. This Reaper had passed on, and in doing so was gifted this job. And after a certain amount of time, he'll get a choice to, you know, move forward or be kind of reincarnated with past memories, or he can just start a new life entirely. But once he finishes his job, does a good job, he can do that.
And the Waiting is not allowed to tell him anything about who he used to be or give him any type of hint that they used to know each other. He kind of has to piece it together on his own.
That's pretty painful.
Yeah.
For Waiting. Unfortunately, you do get to see a lot of their backstory, which is extremely tragic.
Yeah.
And they were, I mean, as is customary for any story we've read, they were lovers in a past life. But This story, I don't want to talk too much about because, one, we have talked about it before, and because it's coming out in print and I don't want to spoil it.
Everyone buy it.
You should buy this. It will be released in a single volume.
Yeah.
So highly recommend. The art for this story is absolutely gorgeous. It is several backgrounds on my phone.
Yeah.
And it is worth every single piece of space in my phone.
Yeah.
Every picture I've taken, it's there.
It is so pretty. I absolutely love, I mean, I can just picture it now. The black Grim Reaper and the white waiting, like it's very dual toned. And it's just such a unique style. Oh my gosh. Yes, gorgeous. The picture you just showed me that no one else can see, but I can. Gorgeous.
Not to worry. I will probably be putting these up on our socials. So if you do want to see some images from these different stories, then highly, highly recommend it.
Yes.
Now, this story did trickle in to their next creation, which was Fathoms of Atonement.
This story was the first one that I read. This is what caught my eye originally. And it's because it's a mermaid story.
Love that.
Love the mermaids. Again, just such a unique style. Like you can instantly pick up when it's this creator because you can from a glance tell that it's their art.
It's very painterly and it's hard to describe. You should genuinely just look it up.
It really is. It's bright, but like also not too bright.
It's bright and also muted at the same time. Yeah. And it's very soft.
Soft, yes.
This story was something that the Reaper in the Waiting was almost a tester for.
Yeah.
So in the notes, you will see that January Sun used the Reaper in the Waiting to test out some of the themes that she wanted to apply here. So you do get a lot of parallels between the two. You do see a lot of recurring themes between both. But again, you have a mermaid story. And I do like that the title of this story changed. Mm-hmm. Because originally it was supposed to be Remember Me, the story of Long Wen. And now we have Fathoms of Atonement, which also I love. It fits the story better.
It's just gorgeous. It's an ongoing story. And like you said, we have a lot of similar themes here. So we have the lovers in a past life where one of them had died and the other one is still alive. Since he's a merman, he has a much longer lifespan, so he just searches the seas and tries to find the reincarnation of his past lover. He begged when he died to like, please reincarnate him. He deserves another chance at life. It's my fault that he passed away and was in this trouble in the first place, so like, please give him another chance. And then he finds him and he starts to become friends with him. Similar thing to The Waiting too, where he's asking, what are you doing here? You're a merman. Like, why are you coming up to the surface and hanging out? And he's like, oh, I'm looking for my friend.
Eyes wide.
Big eyes.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I love this story. And honestly, I like the subtle differences between the Reaper and the Waiting in this one. In the Reaper and the Waiting, it's very much insinuated that the lover's passing is not Wei Li's fault.
Yeah.
And he still rides with that guilt. But in Fathoms of Atonement, you really do see that fallible character.
It is his fault.
And I mean, you have Long, who is just a troublemaker. He has these special powers. He uses them for evil. He can manipulate people's minds.
Yeah.
And he uses it to convince people that he can steal their things.
Yeah.
And they give it willingly until, they snap out of it and they're like, where's my crown, for example. And Hong Lin really did want to help him. Like, wanted to keep him safe from himself almost.
Yeah.
Like, saw his destructive behavior and goes, you can and should be better than this.
Yeah.
You get this trickle between the modern day, where Long is trying to explain to, the modern day Hong Lin that, this is the story of the friendship and he made a mistake and he's trying to build that up. But you also are seeing these past reflections.
Yeah.
And I mean, the entirety of everything Long has done is really tragic because it's just self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
He signs on for being a concubine.
Well, he has a reason, though. His mother died in the palace, and he wants to find out what happened to her because she just went missing.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's no record of what happened to her. So he's like, if I become a concubine, I can go to the palace and figure out what happened. And so, like, that's, I think, the true turning point of when it becomes not just I'm a troublemaker, you know, hanging out and stealing people's jewels, but I have a actual plan, and it's a self-destructive plan.
And it's a plan that kind of wrapped his friend into it without disclosing it to him. Like, he basically lies and buries this information.
Yeah.
To the point that their mutual friends find out that he didn't disclose why he signed on. And it causes some hurt feelings.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Gotta say, the king, maybe not the greatest guy, but he's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, he's gorgeous. The king is terrifying. Everyone is scared of him.
Yeah. And you know what? I guess he's not horrible. He does try and give Long, like, a chance.
He very specifically, I think he is a good guy at heart.
Yeah.
I think he also, though, is like, I have a duty to uphold certain standards, and I won't waver on that.
Yeah.
So he's very direct.
Yeah.
And it comes off as being an asshole, but he's like, I'm literally the king. I can't make concessions here. So he does take in Long as his concubine. And you do see there are, like, certain moments when he tries to come on to Long, and Long makes it obvious that he's, like, not comfortable with how things are progressing. The Emperor's like, ask me questions, get to know me. And Long does ask him, like, I mean, why are you, you know, not worried about people taking the throne from you? And you find out he's this immortal that has existed before their worlds even did, basically. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, oh my God, no one can kill me. And you find out that all of the concubines that he takes on, he basically links himself to them. And so whenever the concubines are hurt, he is also hurt. So they can't, like, self-inflict without him knowing. They can't hurt him without hurting themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's honestly pretty smart the way that he goes about his life. So he does really give Long a lot of, like, passes and lets Long kind of be this uncomfortable and awkward guy. But at the same time, Long is stirring up trouble, trying to look for records of what happened to his mom. And you also have the third concubine working with her like, almost, you know, maid to wipe records that have existed of what goes on in the palace and change them once they realize that Long's mom died because the fifth concubine assaulted her and killed her. And they wipe the record to say that the emperor did it. And so Long reads this manipulated record, gets upset with the emperor, and it's just this huge blowout. He makes an attempt on the emperor's life, and now he's like, well, great, now I can't let you live. Like, you have to go to jail. But I also know that the information you're telling me is wrong. And he even tells Long, like, I know what actually happened to your mother, and explains the entire history of it, and was like, I loved your mom. She was a really good maid.
And tries to let him escape, too.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And he gets caught. This is an ongoing story, so we don't know how this one ends, but I can't wait to find out.
We don't know how it ends, but I will say, we know that you're going to love it.
Guaranteed.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, there is one story that I know you mentioned you haven't read, but I did take a look at, and it's called Diary Comics. This one is one that she started in 2019 and has just kind of trickled in throughout, little, like, side stories about her life outside of making comics. And these were hilarious. The series has 19 episodes so far. So it's not really updated regularly. And there hasn't been a new episode since 2024. So there's just little like slice of life moments that get put into these little diaries. There were some that are so funny. And I do love the fact that there are really clever naming conventions throughout. Like anytime they're bringing up this story about their friends always get month-themed names. So one was April, and there was one that was May, and then they call her brother October, but Toby for short. And it's just so cute to see like how they play through. But they told so many adorable stories about one, like why they were afraid of red lanterns. So during like the Chinese New Year when all the red lanterns are out, her and her brother would walk through with her dad and they would say like, hey, why are these red lanterns out? What do they do? What's the purpose? And they would ask a bunch of questions. And she said my dad got frustrated with answering the questions. So he said that the red lanterns are out to trap children who are bad. And so they used to get terrified of the red lanterns. There was also another one that very much spoke to me about how when they used to live in China, they had a friend named Timmy. And one day they just got into this big fight, and she was in like preschool. And after getting in a fight with him, she found out that they were moving to Canada. And so when it was announced to the class, she was looking at Timmy to see if Timmy had a reaction, and Timmy didn't react at all. And then she just moved. And so she says, wish you well, Timmy, but also what the fuck was your problem? And I really love the energy of holding on to that.
Yeah.
From the age of 5 on. It's just great. I really feel like the energy just matches what I feel would be any like chaotic artist going through life and having all of these experiences that shape everything. But also it's just cute little chibis, and I loved it.
I do love a good chibi.
It's so fun.
There are some really good chibis in these stories too.
There are phenomenal chibis throughout a lot of them. Oh my
gosh, yeah.
The mermaid chibis, adorable.
Couldn't possibly do better.
Now, January Sun does have another mermaid story.
Yes, and this one is an originals. This one is called Bylin and Li Yun. I think this one is probably the funniest one. So we have our Dr. Li Yun, who is working in the Arctic, and he is trying to do some research and happens upon an injured mermaid. And he decides to save this mermaid and take the arrow out, give him a waterproof bandage, and just send him on his way. Now, the merman, super grateful. He's like, you saved my life. I am going to bring you a bunch of fish.
A bunch of fish. More fish than can be humanly possible to consume.
I mean, it just starts off funny and gets funnier as it goes.
It really does. Bylin is such an interesting character because it's silly to say that he has so much character growth, but he does.
Yeah.
And you see this researcher trying to teach him just general things about like the campsite and everything else, and he has to leave.
Yeah.
He's not staying there.
And the funniest thing happens when he leaves. He leaves his glove behind too, and so Bylin is upset and decides to go and try and find him. So goes to the much warmer ocean and finds him and is absolutely shocked to find out that he is not a huge marshmallow, as his coat would suggest.
The picture in his head when he's like, is that the same person? And you see him shrinking him down from his orange puffer coat is truly beautiful.
It's so funny.
This one is kind of more just like crazy antics.
Yeah.
And this mermaid who's obviously in love with this researcher who realizes that it would be very dangerous if people discovered and widely knew about Bylin. And so he's trying to help Bylin. Bylin is trying to kind of seduce the researcher. It's just chaos.
There's a sequence where he's stuck in a bathtub which is so funny. You see him like discover soy sauce and he thinks it's the greatest beverage ever because he's used to seawater.
Mm-hmm. I also love the fact that he gets sick on car rides.
Oh, yeah. And the research assistant is also in love with Dr. Leon and is not a huge fan of Bylin because he sees that Bylin is getting all of the attention.
Yeah. There is like a common like after story short comic throughout all of these stories.
Yeah.
Which is like when they do an interview panel.
I love those.
Of all of the different characters. And the ones for Bylin and Leon are incredible.
Oh my gosh.
So the creator, after these different episodes, will, you know, make a little short comic like, oh, you know, Dr. Leon, what did you first think of Bylin when you saw him? And Bylin's just staring at him all beautiful.
And he's blushing.
Yeah. And Leon's like, I don't know, I thought he was interesting.
And the research assistant is like, where's my questions?
Yes, exactly. I love this. This is just like chaos and comedy in a beautiful package.
Yeah.
This one is on Webtoon. And as of right now, it started as an originals on January of 2024, but it is end of season with 100 episodes. They're super quick to catch up on.
Yes.
Highly, highly recommend that you do. They are such a beautiful dose of sunshine, especially if you read comics like us where they make you cry. This is like the perfect one as a palate cleanser.
Yes, it is.
Now, I want to let you talk about this one the most because I know it's your favorite.
Oh my gosh.
But there is the most recent series that January Sun is creating. And again, in very January Sun fashion, this story is releasing just like an episode here or there for the time being because they are working on 2 other full stories.
This is the new, I need a break from my other stories, so I'm going to work on this story and just update it when I have time. And let me tell you, this one is gorgeous. This is called A Divine Masquerade. And it's only got 4 episodes out so far, but it is about an angel, Uriel, and he has been disgraced and has to go down to hell because he's been disgraced. His entire family was killed. And so Lucifer, which, again, you have to go look up Lucifer because this is probably my favorite rendition ever.
I took like a pause.
Yeah. I immediately text you and said, this is gorgeous. Go look right now.
Yeah. No, he is. I mean, it's dangerous, truly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Dangerous and criminal, but also impeccable.
How could you do this to us?
But also continue doing this to us, please.
So, Lucifer gives him a wish because he wants to, like, spy on the heavens. So he's like, I will grant you your wish of going back to the heavens to try and solve the murder of your family. Mm-hmm. But you have to take someone else's place. So he, like, knocked someone down who was about to go to heaven.
In Lucifer fashion.
In Lucifer fashion. And this person was Claudia. So now Uriel has to dress up as Claudia. And the angel that is assigned to be the kind of mentor for Claudia is Raphael, who is the person who Uriel thinks betrayed him. Mm-hmm. So that's really all we know so far. I cannot wait for this one to have more. I love it already. 4 episodes in and I'm hooked.
I absolutely love them. I do really love the contrasting personalities already for the angels. So Uriel, before he fell, he was not really adhering to rules. He kind of was more loosey-goosey. And Raphael is that real stickler.
Yes.
But it's very obvious that Raphael's feelings were so deep. And with so little context, you're just kind of sitting there wondering, would Raphael really have betrayed him? And for what?
Yeah.
Because you can tell just in the brief interactions you saw from their past that Raphael was very smitten.
Yeah.
And constantly kind of trying to keep a leash on Uriel, which was important.
Now, let me just give a bid for how this story should go. I think we should have a throuple.
With Lucifer.
With Lucifer included. We can't leave him out. He has to join.
You know, I don't know. Lucifer has made it very obvious that he kind of just likes to watch.
So he's the third watching on the side? You know what? I'll take it.
He's just, you know, using Uriel. You're doing great, sweetie. All in all, I love this one. I really do just love the character concepts in general. I feel like I've read a lot of angels and demons stories, but I mean, just the character design alone has me gripped. And truly, I have yet to find a single story that January Sun has made that isn't just top tier. So if you have not read any of January Sun's stories, you absolutely should. We will make sure to link their socials in the bio. So make sure to check that out. Look at everything that they've made ever. And
buy everything that they've made that's available to purchase.
Yes. Also, if you do go to any conventions in Vancouver, I do know that January Sun often goes. So if you're ever looking for a booth, then you may actually meet them in person.
So you're saying we have to go to Vancouver?
That is absolutely what I'm saying. But thank you all so much for joining us and talking about one of our favorite creators ever. And we're looking forward to talking to you all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.